coming in. This is a video that has been released by the army. The Manipur operations, the security forces launching an operation acting on specific intel in a village, Itham, in Imphal East district. This was on the 24th of June, and the operation resulted in the apprehension of 12 KYKL cadres along with arms and ammunition and warlike stores. The self-styled Lieutenant Colonel Tamba alias Uttam has also been identified. He is the mastermind of the ambush on the 6th Battalion of Dogra case in 2015. So he's among those who have been apprehended by the army. Arms and ammunition also being recovered. Now, these are the latest details coming in on what the situation is like. The security forces launching a search operation, and they apprehended 12 KYKL cadres. And they are said to have been released later on, but it led to the apprehension of 12 of these banned Manipur outfit members. So the outfit continues to target and prevent the army from any operation. The search operation had been carried out based on specific intelligence that had come in on a village which is 6 kilometers east of Andro in Imphal East district. It was on the 24th of June in the morning, and the forces have seized arms, ammunition and several warlike stores. My colleague Nibir Deka joining us on the broadcast with the details of what the situation is like on the ground. Nibir, now after the all-party meeting, of course, there have been several incidents of sporadic violence. Take us through the information coming in of the army action that has been taken in Imphal.
Yes, indeed. The security forces have been working in the vulnerable pockets, especially in those areas where we have seen fresh violence. And as such, yes, the security forces were able to do an operation in Imphal East, and after specific searches, they were able to apprehend certain locals that were trying to cause hardships in that area, and also apprehended certain weapons and 12 people in this particular matter. And the security forces continue to operate in these vulnerable areas, and keeping in view of the sensitivity of the situation, they are trying to as much increase their columns, and they are trying to search for the weapons and warlike stores which were also recovered from the unidentified miscreants. And one column was also lifted the cordon and left the area and with weapons and warlike stores. So these are developments coming in from Manipur, where continuously we have seen for the last 50 days or so violence and tensions have remained, and weapons have been used, and the operation continues to recover these weapons so that the de-escalation of tensions can happen in the state. Back to you.
Right. In fact, the Indian Army has appealed to the people of Manipur to assist the security forces in maintaining law and order to bring peace and stability back in the state. Let's go across to Aditi as well, joining us with the details.
Well, Pratibha, this comes with the immediate effects of the center, how they are trying to approach the situation with very carefully, and how noting down every step, how some groups in Manipur are trying to create unrest while the center is trying to make peace in the state. Now, this is the operation that has been done by the army as per government's instructions. Now, the security forces launched an operation acting on specific intelligence in village Itham in Imphal East district on 24th June. That is yesterday. The operation resulted in apprehension of 12 KYKL cadres along with arms, ammunition and warlike stores. Self-styled Lieutenant Colonel Moriyangatham Tamba alias Uttam was positively identified. Also, why this identification and the apprehension is important, because he was the mastermind of ambush on 6th Battalion of the Dogra case in 2015, was among the apprehended cadres. This is the PRO's defense. Now, they also say that after this apprehension, mob of approximately 1200 to 1500 led by women and the local leaders immediately surrounded the target area and prevented security security forces from continuing with the operation, despite repeated appeals to the aggressive mob as per law. However, it did not yield any positive result, keeping in view the sensitivity of use of kinetic forces against large irate mob and envisaged casualties due to such action. The officer on ground made a considerate decision to hand over all 12 cadres to local leaders. Now, this is a big statement that the army is putting forward, that the situation is like, despite repeated efforts from the army to create a normal situation.
Okay, so the banned extremist group members had to be released finally, unfortunately, but Manipur remains tense and the Indian Army is also stationed there. Aditi and Nibir, thank you for joining us with those details. We continue keeping our top focus on what the situation is in Manipur and continue to get you these ground reports. That's all we could pack for you in this edition of the Bulletin. On the other side, news and updates continue.